We ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river. That belongs to we. Not one blue sake. Not one rice grain. Not one grass. Not a blade of grass.
I want to touch, Dave, on the song that probably, I think you wrote this song in the 80s about the Guyana-Venezuela border issue. And that song has enjoyed a resurgence of popularity, perhaps even more popular now than it has ever been. But you told me, and I think I can attest to this, that you never really wrote songs that were political, but you were persuaded by someone in Guyana to write a song about this issue. Do you recall that?
And I told his memory.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave, remember Pat Cameron, the woman from the radio station? She was the one who told you that man Dave should write a song about this going on in Venezuela. And you always give credit to her because she told you that you should write a song about what was going on. You borrowed Bobby Conte guitar, you went back to the hotel and you wrote the song in 2 hours. So
Really?
you might want to talk about that.
That episode doesn't stay in my memory by itself. It's part of a range of stuff.
And you said you wrote the song because you had read about the Indian chief who was fighting and said he's not giving up a blade of grass.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds logical. A lot of the time songwriters are propelled outside of their own lens by other people or by other incidents or whatever. And I think that was one of them.
So that's an interesting point, that songwriters are sometimes influenced by forces outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So Pat Cameron, who was a broadcaster in Guyana at the time, and you told me that story too as well, was pressuring you to write something about the Guyana-Venezuela border issue. And I remembered you were saying to me that you were very reluctant to do it. But then on your drive back to your hotel, you thought about it, and you had traveled to Guyana even without a guitar, which is quite unlike you because you always had your instrument with you. And you borrowed a guitar from someone, and you actually wrote that song unbelievably in just over 2 hours.
It sounds legit.
Yeah, it's legit because it's very legit because you told me that story, you know.
But presently the song is being sung in all of the schools.
Yeah.
And the schools invited him to go for the little nursery kids to sing it to him. It's just so powerful, you know.
When you visited the schools, Dave, and seen the kids singing your song, your music, what does that do for you? How does that make you feel?
It justifies the selection. You know, whatever it was that triggered my first interest in the song was solid. It was solid. It was a good choice. Yeah. Well, you know, songs have different streams that are created by the song itself, and that's one of them. You know, that song was created. I spotted an incident and said, "Hey, that could make a song." And it was a good decision.
But I remember another song of yours that was hugely popular, "Cricket in the Jungle." Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And you got some inspiration. In fact, in the song you say that you reference Ken Corsby in the song.
I hear a story from Ken Corsby. Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, as a songwriter, you always have your antenna up to pick up an idea. It may be something somebody said. It may be something you saw. It may be something that somebody suggested would be, you should write a song about that. Yeah. So the spur comes from different ways, different areas, different people, different times. And the good ones, actually, obviously, are the ones that caught on.
You have had the privilege of growing up in Guyana, but then you lived in Canada for many years. You lived in Cayman for many years, and now you're back home in Guyana. Do you recall what it was like for you as a boy who loved the country and the natural way of life? Must have been a challenge and a difficult feeling going to a place like Canada. It's totally different kind of weather and so on.
Yeah. It was a new experience. It was definitely was. You know, you were seeing people doing things in a different way, in a different language even. You know. And from a lot of those, out of that mixture of stuff, you would find other song ideas.
Dave, when you started We Place in Toronto, the thinking behind that was to do what? To create a sense of where Caribbean people can gather?
No, not that specific. I just recognized it as a subject that would be of immediate interest to Caribbean people wherever they live, because it's part of our history. You know, it actually happened. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of those song subjects are almost obvious things, you know, that you see or you hear or you yourself become involved in. You know. And it hits you as you're doing it. Hey, this is a song.
Of the many places that you have lived in, you've lived in Guyana, you lived in Toronto, you lived in Cayman, and now you're back in Guyana. Do you have a sense for you, where are you happiest in terms of the environment that you have lived in? What have you enjoyed most?
Well, I think each one had its own appeal.
We continue to enjoy, what is this, 30-something years later, enjoy Blade of Grass as if it was just released. It is enjoying worldwide popularity wherever Guyanese, and not just Guyanese people, because I hear people in Barbados singing Blade of Grass too. Did you know that?
Yeah, the West Indian motif is all over. And it spurs things among those people wherever they live. Some of them still in the Caribbean, some of them in London, some in New York, some in the other places.
The bell rings.
Yeah.
Well, as the bell rings for us to end this interview, I want to go to the chorus of Not a Blade of Grass. And if not you, your lovely wife Annette can explain it. I sing it all the time, but some of the things I know, but others I don't know. We ain't giving up the mountain, we ain't giving up no sea, we ain't giving up the river that belong to we. Not one blue saki. Blue saki is a bird, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Not one rice grain. Well, yeah, I understand that. Not one...
Karas.
What is the karas? What is
It's
it?
a fish.
It's a fish?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, the karas. Because it sounds very close to a not so nice Bajan word that is widely used.
Yeah.
So after that you could add not one karas, not a drop of oil or gas.
Not a drop of oil or gas. Yes, so yes, that rhythm, that chorus is very infectious, you know. And so I want to thank you very much for taking a few minutes to share with me and reminisce a little bit about your amazing life and your amazing career as a songwriter and singer.
It was a labor of love on both parts.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, bro.
Not one for us, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupanuni and the Essex Cribble, daytime or night. Though we criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it. We have that right. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain.